Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to be doing a quick camera review on the Panasonic G9 for wildlife photography. This camera is an amazing camera. I've been loving using it. I've used it for quite a while in my wildlife photography career. I think it's one of the best cameras you can find on a budget for wildlife photography. This camera comes in at full retail price currently at $1,300, but very often it'll go on sale for $1,000 or $1,100, whatever it may be. So really, if you're looking to get into wildlife photography and to get into it seriously, this is probably the best deal you can find out there on any camera body. So today I'm just doing a quick camera review on it. If you guys want to see the full review that I did on this camera, make sure to click the link in the description below to see the full review that I did for this Panasonic G9 in regards to wildlife photography. So let's get started with this review. Beyond being what I believe is the best budget camera you can find, I think the price, being the most amazing factor about this camera. For a 20 megapixel sensor with the type of reach that it has and the specifications that it has and just the quality that it has and the features that it has, for this price you really can't get any better. But beyond this, what I love about Panasonic so much, first of all, is that I love Panasonic's color space, and the G9 definitely doesn't disappoint. The Panasonic G9 has amazing color space. I feel like it's very natural when it comes to wildlife photography. You can get very natural, beautiful looking images. They don't, tone everything down, wash things out too much, so you get a lot of nice colors in all of the shots that you shoot. Very accurate colors. So I think Panasonic does a great job with that, just overall, and the Panasonic G9 definitely holds up to that standard that they've set. Now, I think beyond this, one of the things I love most about the Panasonic G9 is the image stabilization that it has. I think it has amazing image stabilization. It's one of my favorite parts of this camera. If you pair it with a good lens that's built for it especially, it just has outstanding image stabilization that is really unmatchable in pretty much any other camera that I've used for wildlife photography. It gets an amazing 5.5 stops of image stabilization when it's combined with a good lens, and by itself it gets a lot as well. So I think that overall, this offers a really great, unique opportunity to be able to just handhold this and move this around and just being able to capture photos wherever you want without having to worry about slow shutter speeds, things like that. I've very often gone handheld and had great results with this. And even when I'm taking video, I feel like it stabilizes it so well, even during video, that I feel comfortable even shooting handheld for video for wildlife photography sometimes. Now this leads into the next thing that I wanted to talk about, which is I think the biggest pro for this camera as compared to some full frame cameras that a lot of people see is that it's a micro four thirds format, sensor format, which means that it's very light, it's very portable. So for travel, if you're trying to just take something small in your bag, you can fit this and a nice wildlife lens that can get up to 600 millimeters of full frame focal equivalent. You can fit this nice and easily in pretty much any camera backpack that you bring, any type of, heck, you could fit it in a purse probably. So for a lot of people, I know that this is actually a big factor in their decision if they can't carry around a lot of weight or they have difficulty holding up a lot of weight for a long amount of time. So I think that the weight is an awesome plus to this if that's what you're looking for. And this also leads into the point of, because it's a micro four thirds format, you can get a much smaller lens with a certain focal length, and it doubles it essentially. So for this lens, for example, I have a 300 millimeter focal length at the high end, which when it's doubled is a 600 millimeter equivalent on a full frame. So for a full frame camera, I would have to get a 600 millimeter lens as opposed to this 300 millimeters, which means two things. One, it's gonna be way more expensive, and two, it's way bigger, way heavier. I mean, my Sigma 150 to 600, if you guys have seen that from my other videos, it's a huge lens. It's a beast to carry around, right? So that's really awesome about this camera, is that you can get a lot of reach, you can get a lot of extended reach with having to do very little work and put very little price into it comparatively to other lenses. Now the last thing I want to talk about with this camera that I really love is I love the burst rate on it. It can take a lot of photos really fast, and so it allows you really to just capture every moment that you're looking for. At a mechanical shutter, it has an amazing burst rate, so you don't miss any action of a bird flying or maybe an animal running, something like that. And so I think that it's a great feature to have in this camera, and I'm really happy with it. Overall, this Panasonic G9 has been an outstanding camera. I've loved my experience with it. I think it's great, especially if you're wanting to be serious about getting into wildlife photography and you haven't gotten much into it yet. But even for the average everyday amateur or semi-professional, it's a great camera to have. I think a very useful camera to have. So if you guys like this video and are interested in purchasing the Panasonic G9, make sure to check out the affiliate link in the description below. It doesn't cost you guys anything extra and it helps support me and the channel a lot. And if you guys are wanting to look into the full camera review that I did on it, make sure to click the end screen at the end of the video or look in the description below for the link, and you can check out the full review I did of the Panasonic G9. I'll talk about a little bit more pros in depth to it and the 1 or 2 cons that I actually found to this camera that I didn't like about it quite as much. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe below, and I can't wait to see you guys next time.